Funny People is a funny movie by Judd Apatow about Adam Sandler's career as an actor with Seth Rogen. With a wide range of actors and cameos from Funny People, this is not a comedy. So why is it called Funny People without being a comedy? So let's break it down. Director Judd Apatow casts longtime friend Adam Sandler as George Simmons, a celebrity who learns that he suffers from a rare blood disorder that will kill him. This horrible news gets him the idea to go back to his roots, doing stand-up, which he has not done for 5 years because of his movie career. At a club, he meets Ira Wright, played by Seth Rogen. He likes him and hires him to write jokes and to be his personal assistant. Ira begins to enjoy a small look into the life of being a superstar, until he discovers how grandiose and egocentric his mentor is. This is the story. I would not recommend this movie to the average person. When I first saw this for the first time after seeing the trailers, I thought it was a comedy.
You are a very funny man. I enjoy your movies.
And I enjoy all of your movies.
Which movies?
The ones where you try to kill Bruce Willis.
It's not. I was going in with low expectations, expecting another movie like You Don't Mess with the Zohan, where you turn off your brain and soak it in like a sponge. I felt depressed, and the feels. I was different. It was different where the movie felt very real, for lack of a better word. It's Adam Sandler's a darker version of himself. This is also the movie with the most requisite humor, and without going lowball like previous films such as Daddy Daycare and other crap that you see with Adam Sandler. And also see how, relates to my life, because apparently I'm a funny person. It's like how the saying goes, the biggest smiles usually are the saddest people. The movie teaches a lesson of never forgetting how and where one started at. This, in my opinion, is Judd Apatow's most mature and highbrow film so far, but it's really long. 2.5 hours long. So how the hell is this 2 hours? The movie is split into 2 acts, or it's more like 2 movies in one. So let's talk about the first part. The first part is George's acceptance of death, and so he starts feeling the emptiness, luxury, glib, and regret after hearing about the disease. This is the one movie with Adam Sandler that didn't involve fart jokes or someone getting chocolate wasted. You see, this feels a lot like what Adam Sandler could have been. This might be argued as the best role he's ever been in. He was a stand-up comic.
He calls me Adam. That's my name. I don't answer to Bob much. He said Adam.
And then he went to SNL, to movie star. Just look at his movies.
We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. We're in the money. The sky is sunny.
Particularly lives the part. Except, the regret and loneliness. It's the little things in this movie that makes it great. Look at this scene with George and Ira. George tells Ira to talk to him while he tries to sleep. We learn the motivations of him becoming a stand-up comedian.
That's what led you to the path of comedy, being humiliated every day, first day of school. Is Ira Winder here? And you were in the back. Winder, my name's Winder.
It's a depression and a way to cope with how life is so cruel. George at first sees him as a worker, but eventually develops a relationship, kind of like mentor and apprentice.
Can I ask you something? Is your act just designed to make sure no girl will ever sleep with you again? All you fucking talk about is jacking off and farting. You think a girl's gonna come up to you after the show? Oh, could you just jack off of me and then fart in my face? It's fucking insane. Do you want to get laid ever?
George finds Ira as kind of like his legacy, of eventually even accepting that he will die. Until he does, because the movie will be too short. Now let's talk about the second part. This movie could have ended right when George was informed he's gonna live, and then happy times with him and Ira. But no, we need to tie up the plot points here and there. Now George is healthy again, but no one knows, and has a sort of new lease on life. Not really. He does stand up with Ira and a bunch of others, but he's missing one thing. His lost fiancée, who's now married to Eric Bana and has kids. Fun fact, Did you know that the kids in this movie were Judd Apatow's own daughter? They have the typical affair with each other until it's broken up in a bittersweet ending. Now I like that. Usually movie romances have the archetypal, cliched guy getting the girl, but not this movie. This movie has existentialist ideas in a comedic role that portrays real-life comedy, or in this case, stand-up. It's really bleak and depressing, and that, in reality, they're all just really funny people. Part 2. Why was this made? Well, why was this made, aside from the, the monies? Adam Sandler isn't the reason why this movie was made. It's all Judd Apatow's doing. Judd Apatow wanted to make a movie like this with Adam Sandler. In fact, he was a stand-up comedian for a while.
I realized how hairy I was the other day. I'm playing tennis, I looked down, and I could see the hair on my back in my shadow.
As a former stand-up comedian and obsessive stand-up comedy fan, this movie is the culmination of my journey in comedy.
Apparently, he wanted to do a stand-up mentor film based on his old times as a struggling stand-up comedian, but his mentors were pretty nice. So instead, he thought the idea of having a comedian having a midlife crisis and got Adam Sandler to play it. This movie was a way for Judd Apatow to experience the old days of being a young comedian and a form of rediscovery. This movie was made specifically for Adam Sandler in mind, because he and Judd were old buddy roommates when they moved to LA to make it big time. It's not like his previous movies like Knocked Up, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. This is funny people. What does that mean? The movie has characters unlike the typical comedy. This is Judd Apatow's version of how a real-life comedian, like he was, it's really depressing and actually ha-ha funny. It's a throwback to a type of drama they don't make now. It is, though, a movie with second chances. And the question, what are you going to do after you find out you're not going to die? Would you use those lessons you learned when you were dying and apply them to your new, hopefully better life? It's a rare dramedy where there's actually sympathy for the characters and a movie with a lot of heart.
Really more a drama than a comedy. I don't know if I can do it. I think the other people can do it. Everyone here is capable. There may be one person that isn't, but he's going to try very hard. And then so it begins.
That's why Judd Apatow made a movie about funny people.
I can't stop going to the bathroom!
Well, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do for you.
Ma? If my son thinks I'm crazy...
Ma, who you calling?
It's Jerry's, and don't tell me not to call
Jesus Christ, get off the fucking phone!
Don't talk to me that way!
Get off the fucking phone! What's going on?
Same thing last time.
Did she, what'd she call you about, the roast beef?
Yes.
All right, she just puked in the kitchen.
That's all right. I suggest